I'm not scared of dying. Are you?
At 86, Jane Fonda is still rewriting the script of her life and Hollywood, recently sparking rumors with her radiant red carpet appearance, whispers of secret routines, and her unflinching activism. Jane continues to captivate and divide audiences. From her controversial Hanoi Jane era to her bold personal choices, she has never shied away from the spotlight or the backlash. How has she managed to stay this relevant, powerful, and fearless in an industry notorious for casting women aside after 40? How did a young girl from Hollywood royalty transform into the unstoppable force we know today? Let's uncover the beginnings of her extraordinary story. The year was 1937, and the world welcomed Jane Fonda. Born into one of Hollywood's most celebrated families, her father, Henry Fonda, was already a towering figure in cinema, renowned for his roles in classics like The Grapes of Wrath and 12 of Angry Men. To many, growing up as the daughter of such a legendary actor might seem like a golden ticket, but for young Jane, it was both a privilege and a burden. Life in the Fonda household was anything but ordinary. Jane and her brother Peter were raised in the shadow of their father's larger-than-life persona, an image that was both inspiring and intimidating. Henry was a man of immense talent but distant as a parent, a figure who demanded excellence but often struggled to show warmth. Jane idolized him, but the emotional disconnect left her yearning for approval she rarely received. Beneath the glamour, the Fonda family faced its share of heartbreak. Jane's mother, Frances Ford Seymour, battled mental illness for years, a struggle that culminated in her tragic suicide when Jane was just 12 years old. The loss shattered her world, leaving wounds that would take decades to heal. Jane later admitted she blamed herself for her mother's death, a burden no child should bear. As Jane grew older, she faced the weight of expectations that came with the Fonda name. She was expected to be poised, talented, and flawless, a daunting prospect for a young girl grappling with insecurities about her looks and abilities. While she possessed undeniable charm and intellect, Jane often felt like an imposter, unsure if she could ever measure up to her father's greatness. Despite these challenges, Jane showed early signs of the resilience and determination that would later define her. She found solace in art, particularly dance, which offered her a sense of control and freedom. Yet the pressure to conform to societal and familial standards was relentless, shaping her into a perfectionist, a trait that would later both drive her success and fuel her struggles. By the time she entered adulthood, Jane had a choice to make. Would she follow in her father's footsteps or carve her path? The answer wasn't immediate, but the seeds of her independence were already being sown. She enrolled at Vassar College, briefly stepping away from Hollywood to explore her own identity. However, the pull of acting proved too strong to resist, and Jane eventually returned to the world she had been born into, this time on her terms. Jane's early years were a delicate balancing act between privilege and pain, talent and doubt. They shaped the foundation of a woman who would later redefine what it means to be a star, a feminist, and a survivor. But what challenges shaped her into the powerhouse we know today? Jane Fonda's ascent to Hollywood stardom was anything but ordinary. From the moment she stepped onto the screen, it was clear she was more than just the daughter of a legendary actor. She was a star in her own right. Her journey began in the early 1960s, with roles that showcased her charm and acting chops. But it wasn't until the late 1960s that she catapulted into superstardom. In 1968, Barbarella changed everything. Directed by her then-husband Roger Vadim, the sci-fi adventure turned Jane into an international sensation. Her portrayal of the seductive, fearless heroine cemented her status as a sex symbol, a label she would embrace and later transcend. While Barbarella drew attention for its bold visuals and provocative themes, Jane's performance hinted at depth and complexity that would soon redefine her career. The 1970s marked Jane's transformation from a budding actress to a Hollywood powerhouse. She shed the glamorous image of Barbarella and took on roles that challenged societal norms and showcased her incredible range. In 1971, she starred in Clute as Bree Daniels, a cool girl with a sharp mind and a vulnerable heart. The role earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress, solidifying her reputation as a serious, fearless performer. But Jane wasn't done pushing boundaries. In 1978, she delivered another Oscar-winning performance in Coming Home, portraying a woman whose life was transformed by the Vietnam War. The film not only highlighted her versatility, but also her passion for stories that resonated with deeper social issues. Jane's ability to balance commercial appeal with meaningful roles set her apart in an industry often resistant to change. By the end of the decade, Jane had become a symbol of reinvention and resilience. Her career was studded with accolades, including multiple Golden Globe wins and 2 Academy Awards. But her impact extended beyond trophies. She broke stereotypes by taking on roles that were raw, provocative, and deeply human, challenging the perception of women in Hollywood. Jane wasn't just acting, she was redefining what it meant to be a leading lady. Her choices were bold and intentional, whether she was playing a vulnerable woman navigating life's complexities or a strong-willed character fighting for justice. Jane's performances reflected a commitment to authenticity and truth. She wasn't afraid to take risks, and her work resonated with audiences, who saw her not just as a star, but as a force for change. Jane's rise to fame was a masterclass in determination and artistry. She didn't rely on her family name or her beauty. Instead, she built her career on talent, grit, and an unwavering belief in her vision. Her journey from Barbarella to Clute and beyond is a testament to her ability to evolve, adapt, and remain relevant in an ever-changing industry. How did she navigate the challenges that threatened to derail her success? Beneath the glamour of Hollywood stardom, Jane Fonda's personal life was a storm of struggles, insecurities, and heartbreaks. While the world saw her as a confident, successful actress, Jane was silently battling demons that had followed her since childhood. Her mother's tragic suicide when Jane was just 12 left emotional scars that would take years to heal. The guilt she carried, believing she could have done something to prevent it, haunted her throughout her life. That loss, coupled with her father's distant and often critical demeanor, fueled a relentless need for perfection, a need that manifested in a painful battle with bulimia. For years, Jane fought a cycle of binge eating and purging, a coping mechanism born from a desire to maintain control in a life that often felt chaotic. Her struggles didn't end there. Jane's relationships mirrored the complexities of her inner world. Her first marriage, to French director Roger Vadim, was marked by infidelity and emotional turbulence. While Vadim helped shape her early career, their union was far from stable. Jane later admitted she often felt like a pawn in his artistic vision, struggling to find her own identity within the marriage. Her second marriage, to activist Tom Hayden, was a turning point. Together, they shared a passion for social and political causes, but their relationship was not without its challenges. Jane devoted herself to supporting Hayden's political ambitions, often at the expense of her own emotional needs. The pressure to balance her career, activism, and marriage eventually took its toll. Her third marriage, to media mogul Ted Turner, was equally tumultuous. While Ted provided her with a sense of adventure and spontaneity, their relationship was marked by clashes over their differing values. Jane later described their marriage as a time when she lost herself, trying to conform to someone else's vision of who she should be. Through these trials, Jane began to confront the patterns that had shaped her life. She realized that her worth wasn't tied to her appearance, her relationships, or even her career. It was something she had to define for herself. In her 50s, Jane embarked on a journey of self-discovery, seeking therapy and exploring spirituality. She learned to embrace her imperfections and let go of the impossible standards she had set for herself. This transformation wasn't easy, but it was profound. Jane found strength in vulnerability, using her struggles as a foundation for growth. She became an advocate for women's health and self-acceptance, openly sharing her battles with body image and aging to inspire others. Her journey from self-doubt to self-love redefined her not only as an actress, but as a role model for resilience and empowerment. Jane's darkest moments became the foundation for her greatest evolution. How did she turn her pain into purpose and use it to change the world? Jane Fonda's legacy isn't just defined by her roles on the silver screen. It's her fearless activism that has cemented her as a voice for justice. Throughout her life, Jane has used her platform to fight for causes that matter, even when it meant risking her career or reputation. Her activism took center stage during the Vietnam War, when she became one of the most vocal critics of US involvement. Jane's controversial trip to North Vietnam in 1972, where she was photographed sitting on an anti-aircraft gun, earned her the nickname Hanoi Jane. The image sparked outrage across America, and she faced harsh criticism, public backlash, and even threats. The Vietnam War. Yet, Jane never wavered in her belief that the war was unjust. Decades later, she acknowledged the hurt caused by the infamous photograph, but stood firm in her commitment to peace and social justice. In the years that followed, Jane broadened her activism to include women's rights, environmental issues, and social equality. Her work wasn't just about speaking out, it was about taking action. She helped raise millions for organizations advocating for reproductive rights and gender equality, and she consistently used her voice to push for systemic change. More recently, Jane's activism has focused on the climate crisis. At an age when most people slow down, she has doubled down on her efforts. Her Fire Drill Fridays protests, inspired by Greta Thunberg, became a national movement, bringing attention to the urgent need for climate action. Jane even faced multiple arrests during these protests, proving that her passion for change has only grown stronger with time. What sets Jane apart is her unyielding courage. She has never been afraid to take a stand, even when it meant enduring criticism or jeopardizing her career. Her activism is rooted in a deep sense of responsibility to use her fame for good. Jane has often said that her greatest joy comes not from awards or accolades, but from knowing she is helping to create a better world. Today, Jane remains an outspoken advocate for the causes she holds dear. Whether it's marching in protests, lobbying lawmakers, or inspiring younger generations to take action, she continues to lead by example. Her activism is a reminder that the fight for justice doesn't have an expiration date. Jane Fonda is more than a Hollywood star, she's a fearless voice for justice. But how has she managed to balance activism and artistry for decades? In the 1980s, Jane Fonda revolutionized how the world approached fitness. Her Jane Fonda's workout videos became a cultural phenomenon, selling millions of copies and transforming exercise from a niche activity into a mainstream lifestyle. With her vibrant energy, motivational presence, and perfectly choreographed routines, Jane made fitness accessible to everyone. From busy moms to corporate professionals, she wasn't just teaching aerobics, she was empowering people to take control of their health, one workout at a time. Jane's approach wasn't about unattainable standards or vanity. Her message was simple yet profound. Fitness is about feeling strong, confident, and alive. This perspective resonated with millions, particularly women, who had long been overlooked by the male-dominated fitness industry. Through her videos, Jane created a movement that celebrated health and wellness, inspiring generations to embrace exercise not as a chore, but as a way of life. Even now, well into her 80s, Jane remains a beacon of vitality and self-care. Her commitment to staying active hasn't wavered, she simply adapted her routines to fit her age and physical needs. Yoga, walking, and resistance training are now staples of her fitness regimen, all done with a focus on maintaining mobility, strength, and overall well-being. She also emphasizes the importance of mental health, often advocating for mindfulness and self-compassion as essential components of a healthy lifestyle. But Jane's philosophy on aging goes far beyond physical fitness. For her, beauty is about inner confidence and strength, not societal standards or fleeting trends. She's been vocal about rejecting the pressure to look forever young, and instead embraces the natural process of aging with grace and authenticity. In interviews, she often credits her sense of purpose through activism, work, and relationships as a key factor in staying radiant and fulfilled. Jane's fitness journey isn't just a personal triumph, it's a legacy. She showed the world that taking care of your body is an act of self-love, a tool for empowerment, and a source of joy at any age. Her impact on the fitness industry is undeniable, but her greatest contribution lies in the mindset she instilled in millions, that health is about more than just appearances, it's about thriving in every stage of life. How did she continue to reinvent herself and shatter stereotypes about aging in the later stages of her career? As Jane Fonda entered the later stages of her career, she proved once again that reinvention was her greatest strength. While many stars fade from the limelight with age, Jane embraced this chapter of her life with the same fearless determination that defined her youth. Her return to television in Grace and Frankie was nothing short of triumphant. Starring alongside Lily Tomlin, Jane captivated audiences with her sharp wit, impeccable comedic timing, and heartfelt portrayal of Grace Hanson, a woman navigating life's twists and turns in her 70s. The show, which became Netflix's longest-running series, not only resonated with fans, but also challenged Hollywood's long-standing biases about aging. Jane's role in Grace and Frankie reminded viewers and the industry that women over 70 are just as vibrant, complex, and entertaining as their younger counterparts. The series celebrated aging with humor, grace, and honesty, and Jane's performance was a cornerstone of its success. Beyond Grace and Frankie, Jane continued to prove her versatility and staying power. Whether it was through her compelling roles in films, her ongoing activism, or her public appearances, she remained a force to be reckoned with. Her willingness to tackle meaningful projects and push boundaries set her apart as a true trailblazer. Jane's legacy isn't just about her remarkable career, it's about her ability to shatter stereotypes and redefine what's possible at any age. She has shown the world that reinvention isn't limited by time, it's a mindset. From her early days as a Hollywood starlet to her reign as a fitness icon, activist, and celebrated actress, Jane has always embraced change and used it as an opportunity to grow. Her journey is a testament to perseverance and courage. Jane has not only built a legacy of excellence in film and television, but also inspired generations to rethink the narrative around aging. She's proven that it's never too late to pursue new dreams, embrace new roles, and leave an indelible mark on the world. At 86, Jane Fonda remains a symbol of resilience and possibility. Her story reminds us that life doesn't have to slow down with age. It can evolve into something even more extraordinary. Let's reflect on how her resilience and reinvention continue to inspire millions worldwide. Jane Fonda's life is a testament to resilience, reinvention, and the unyielding power of purpose. From her early days as a Hollywood starlet, living in the shadow of her father, to her rise as a trailblazing actress, activist, and cultural icon, Jane has rewritten the narrative of what it means to live a full and impactful life. Her journey has been one of transformation, embracing challenges, confronting personal demons, and using her voice to create change in a world that often resists it. At 86, Jane is thriving, not merely existing. Her presence is a reminder that age is not a limitation but an opportunity to explore new horizons, break boundaries, and inspire others to do the same. Whether she's lighting up the screen, marching for climate justice, or sharing her deeply personal stories, Jane continues to show the world that authenticity and courage are the keys to a life well lived. Her legacy is more than her accolades, her films, or her activism. She can adapt, evolve, and thrive despite the odds. Jane has taught us that reinvention is not a one-time act, it's a lifelong journey. She has shown us that vulnerability is strength, and that the most meaningful victories often come from the hardest battles. Jane Fonda reminds us to live boldly, embrace our imperfections, and never stop striving for a better version of ourselves. She is a timeless inspiration, not because she defies aging, but because she embraces it with open arms, proving that every stage of life holds the potential for greatness. Jane Fonda reminds us that age is just a number, and the best chapters of life are still waiting to be written. What inspires you most about her story? Share your thoughts in the comments below.